Good Saturday morning. It's the 17th of September. It's about 6:25 in the morning. It says Wilton Road, SW1. And here's a bit more of it. There's a Sainsbury's down on the right, and just a few minutes walk beyond that is Victoria train station. And Westminster Abbey and all that is probably, I don't know, 15-minute walk that way. And the Buckingham Palace, or the closest point to it from here, is probably about a 12-minute walk, that type of thing. I live just off this street, and I'm heading over to the queue, which is apparently. There's a bus, the C10. I'm walking over to the coach station, and I'm going to take the C10 bus. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to get off it, but wherever, and then join the back of the queue for what is going to be a long day. The advantage of it is that when I finish at Westminster Hall, it's not going to take that long to get back here. That is the advantage. All right, later. Goodbye, C10. I have loved you. Next to it on the right, Birmingham Station. And now, where are we? We, I hear you say. Who is we? Where are we going, Lisa? Okay, all these people are going this.
You want to follow them, or it says to go over there? I don't know.
All right. Hang on. Okay, here's the situation. Okay, so from the flat, we walked about 10 minutes to the coach station, got on the C10 bus. Now, there's different ways of getting, and the thing is, you don't exactly know, or we don't exactly know where the back of the queue is. There are various apps, so it's a certain speculation. And when you're on that particular bus, now of course, where you're coming from determines how you get to the back of the queue. We took the bus because that just was convenient for us. The C10. It starts right by Victoria Station, so there are a lot of people that work out here. And anyway, but the thing is, once you go as far as Westminster Bridge, you can actually see the queue. But then the bus goes off a different way, so then you can't actually see the queue because it kind of sticks to the river. So now we've gone off the bus. Now Lisa's been looking at an app. Now, as you can see, I don't know if it's Friday. I don't know if this is normal pedestrian traffic. I've been trying to follow these people, haven't you?
No.
All right.
You didn't have it in now.
Now, see, this is the thing, right? Lisa's saying that we should go back behind us, but all these people, as you can see, are going this way.
I just followed what 3 words?
So, see, Lisa's followed an app. And as we all know, well, obviously, this is the way to the back of the queue, right?
This is the way indeed.
So we can safely say that apps should be removed and apps should be destroyed, and those people that create apps, because there are a lot of people that follow apps and like religiously, right? And
people
what
do
through
follow
words.
them religiously.
And I see, I'm one of the type of things that, and I do have some websites, so I see the pros. But see, Lisa's saying that we should go that way because that's what the app is saying. But you're saying it's
all that way.
Okay.
The crowd has increased so much in the last 20 minutes. So everyone to Southwark Park.
fantastic.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
good. Thank you. So, honey, do you still want to go that way? Anyway, but you see, this can be the issue, right? Where do you actually, where does one get off a bus or tube or park the car, whatever you're doing, to get to the back of the queue, because you don't exactly know where the back of the queue is. And I mean, if you follow the app or apps, I mean, as we've just experienced ourselves, that's, well, unless the policeman's wrong. But you see, so that can be a thing. But you can see how this is, this queue is. And he was just saying, and you probably heard that the last 20 minutes, the queues increased dramatically. Anyway, Yes, okay. Well, this is where we have stopped. Cafe Street, and there Paradise Street. Over there is the river. But apparently, this is a queue that leads to another queue, or something like that. Not too sure. It is 7:45. We probably got off the bus at the wrong stop. To be fair, I think. And the problem is, of course, when you're on a bus, you don't exactly know where the back of the queue is. So there's a certain speculation there, and if you are using an app, then you have to be prepared
It's wrong.
to accept. In this case, the app was wrong. So, how do I put this? If you follow the apps, you have to be prepared to accept the possibility, maybe probability, that the app is wrong. But then again, what do you do? I mean, how do you know it's wrong? I suppose if we'd known 15 minutes what we know now, then we would have stayed on the bus. Queue for the queue. We would have stayed on the bus and in this case gone on to Southwark Park. And by the time, well, by the time you're watching this video, this is already history, I would think. But yeah, so. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I previously said we. Why did I say we? Because of.
Hello.
Flew in 2 days ago.
You obviously had a better plan than us then.
All right then.
Nearly.
Well, we're about 4.5 miles from Westminster Hall. Just over there is the entrance to the Rotherhithe Tunnel. That goes across to the north side. I've driven. It gets a bit narrow actually. If you're in a really long vehicle, you can't do it. But that goes on to the north side. I've done it from south. I don't know wherever I'm going, but from south to north, or north to south, because. But yeah, so wow, and you know, I didn't want to say anything to Lisa, but she followed the app, you know, and the app was saying to get off at Bermondsey and then go back a little bit, but that was not right, you know, and I guess at the end of the day, it's probably going to cost us half an hour or something like that, which perhaps at the end of the day isn't a big deal. But you know, I've got this thing against just, I know, religiously following apps, of all apps, right? I mean, got to treat them with a pinch of salt, really. And it wasn't correct here, for sure not. But anyway, too late now. She's gone up ahead of me. She's got a bad knee, and so yeah, so we're. I mean, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we could come back later on and do the overnight thing. But you know, here we are. Well, they say life is full of experiences. We're in Southwark Park now. Today's Friday. Now look at these barriers that are up here. They're all empty now, but presumably on the weekend, right, tomorrow, Sunday, they're going to be full of people. We're 4.5 miles away from Westminster Hall, and we're looking at 11, 12 hours. Tomorrow, it could be even worse if all that is full of people. And then I don't know how much further one can go back. I mean, look, they've got like zones, zone 2, so I guess there's other zones labelled somewhere, and once this is full, unless there's something beyond it. I mean, look at this, we're 4.5 miles away. Wow, I've never seen anything like this before, even when, I know, you know, Lisa and I were in Bangkok 6 years ago when the king died there, and I can't remember quite like this, although of course I don't know the geography of Bangkok and what have you, so maybe I don't know. But this is just, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Lying interstate entry point. Well, considering that we arrived at this park, I don't know, an hour and a half ago, an hour and 3/4, and we've stopped yet again. So that is the way to the entry point. So I'm not exactly sure where we've been. Well, I am actually. Look, Southwark Park. Look at it. And that isn't one line of people because it's that zigzag type stuff, you know. So that's, I don't know how many lines there are behind. You know, you see that moving line, you see people behind them, and there's people behind them, and all the way. I mean,
that's why we've got quite a lot of police around, and just got
a whole bunch of loos over there. But yeah, so and this is only Friday. And you see they got the lights up. There's lights. I guess this is, I don't know if it's going to be jam-packed all night. I suspect part for most of the night. Anyway, now the reason we stopped here, there's a road there, and then I think the river. Well, I know the river's just down there, but once we cross this road, I think this is the last. If you like, there might be like a little tiny road beyond it, but this is the last major road before we get to the river. So obviously, unless the traffic is, the road is closed, then people can only go across in batches, or maybe when the lights are green. So maybe that's why. I'm sure that's why we stopped right now, because you see the lights have changed to green. 12, we've got the timer there, 9, 8, 7. Anyway, but you can see how it works, right? We're not going to get there in 3 seconds left, so it's going to stop again, and then you get the idea.
More quickly.
Anyway, so oh yeah, we are going. Okay. All right, we're off. Anyway, so you get the idea. This see, that's the entrance to the Rotherhithe Tunnel down there. Holy moly, right? Holy moly indeed. And I'm just going to keep this on until we stop, because I'm sure we're going to... The rivers... Well, let's see. I'm not sure what's going to happen, so I'm just going to keep this going. And we were here, of course, a couple of hours ago, and we had to go around and around and enter the park and do that zigzag thing, and, yeah, so, and we actually got off the bus probably, 8:15 or something? Now, one of the prophets did say that in the 20 minutes before that, it just really started getting busy. This guy just came in.
Yeah, I saw him.
You sure?
Behind those people. Yeah.
Well, unless those people overtook, I don't know. See, at this point here, now Lisa thinks that guy in the black may have just jumped in and saved 2 hours.
Before the gate. Someone went in through it. I saw it. Like one of the people.
Oh. Well, maybe. Oh, there's some maybes here. But anyway, but yeah, there's the river just up there, and yeah, like Lisa finished work yesterday, 2:00 in the morning. Now we've just found out that they had some rehearsals going on. Of course, this is in Pimlico, right? Central London. Now, if we'd known that, we could have gone to one of those rehearsals when, of course, there wouldn't have been that many people around. Or maybe we could have, gone over and joined the queue. And, we probably would have got to the back of the queue, which probably would have been around about Waterloo. And would have only taken 3 hours or something to get through, maybe even less. Now we're looking at, well, it's not sure, but quite a few hours. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the river. So we're going to hit the river just down there, and then that's pretty much it with roads, I think. I think we're done with roads now. And now you start to think about drink. Oh yeah, it was the other thing. Okay, I started this all off and I pointed out the Sainsbury's, and that Sainsbury's is about 8 checkouts there that have people working on them, and then there's about another 30 checkouts, you know, where you do it yourself, you know, with a basket or a trolley or whatever, right? So I think, as far as I'm pretty sure actually, of that size supermarket, that is the closest one to Buckingham Palace, and that is the one that tends to run out of flowers. There's Waitrose, little smaller Waitrose around the corner. They sell flowers. There's a Tesco opposite that. I'm not sure if they sell flowers or not. So as I mentioned before, hopefully if anyone's bringing flowers, although by the time people watch this video, I'm sure most people will have, they'll be after it's all over anyway. But just in case I do manage to get it uploaded before and somebody watches it, if you are bringing flowers, if you bring them with you, right? You know, don't get them locally in central London. I mean, there's no guarantee, you know, it might be okay, it might not be. Yeah, and anyway, so just beyond that, Sainsbury's, there's a prep, opened at 6 o'clock, and I was going to go down there and get a prep, but I thought, no, we're going to the coach station, 10-minute walk, there's a prep there. You know, I mean, it's a coach station, right? I mean, you know, the preps are going to open earlier than, you know, other preps, because it's a coach station, but no. I was there probably 25 to 7 and the prep wasn't open, unless there was some other reason. So I didn't get a coffee or anything. So anyway, yeah. So that's definitely the river there. Those buildings that you see, actually, they're on the other side of the river. See, there's the City of London over there. There's the Gherkin there. So yeah, so those buildings are the other side of the river. The Mayflower pub is around here somewhere. That's been in another video, because just over there is Virginia Quay, which is where the after the state of Virginia, because that's where the what's the name of it? No. It's where when they set off and they landed in Virginia. It's where they started from, 1619, and yeah, they set off from over there. Of course, it wasn't called Virginia Quay when they set off, but now there's a bit of a monument there, and it's called Virginia Quay, because, you know, they landed in Virginia. And the rest, as they say, is history, isn't it? And there's a pub around here called the Mayflower. And there's a coffee place over there. There's a bit of a queue for that as well. Today's queue day. And it's getting a bit nippy as well. Now we see we're at the river. There's the Shard. There's the, you can just make out the Gherkin, whatever that one is, with the Sky Garden at the top of it. And so that's all the other side of the river. Just up there, that's where the Mayflower pub is. There's also the church where the guy who captained the Mayflower, the actual captain, I can't remember his name. Wasn't Johnston. Anyway, the guy who actually was captain of the Mayflower, he's buried up there as well. So I've been here before for work actually, and I've just walked along here anyway under normal circumstances when of course there's nothing else. And it's quite a pleasant walk all in all. The Tower Bridge is just up here. Can't quite see if that tree wasn't in the way, but Tower Bridge is just there, and opposite it is the Tower, or next to it is the Tower of London. So if you did go that far and you wanted, a lot of people would do that walk between Westminster and along the South Bank, and they'd stop at Tower Bridge. But if you've got a bit of extra time, or I don't know, want a bit of history or whatever, you could go on further, and it's a walk like this, it's all quite easy, and it's okay. And so you've got the Royal Hyde Tunnel there, and Grinnell's got a museum down there, not too far away, so let me go into that sort of engineering type stuff. That's just now behind me as well. So the distances are not that great, but certainly time-wise today, it's. I mean, normally from here to Westminster Bridge, you could probably walk it in. I don't know. If you did a walk without stopping too much, hour and 20 something. but I think we're looking at quite a few more. Here's Liza. There's a lot of noise. Swinging around here. There's a little bit of history here. King Edward III Manor House. Not so much left of the actual house itself, but you get the idea. And of course, back in the day, I suspect this was closer to the river. I'm sure, actually. Yeah. And that's quite normal as, you know, as the centuries go by. I mean, you know, the Thames, in fact, it was wider once upon a time. This is why it was to ice up more. So maybe the water did come up to this point. Quite possibly. In fact, I would think very likely, actually. Well, Lisa's gone over to read the sign. Not quite sure if that's just a diplomatic way of going away. This little shop here is what these fellas are doing is they're emptying the roofs. So of course that means opening up the doors, sticking those hoses in and doing all of that. So yeah, so you can't, it's not that bad a smell. But yes, it can be. You know, it's the joys and tribulations of oh, by the way. So there you can see Tower Bridge and the Charlotte, which looks as though it's actually closer to Tower Bridge, but it's actually beyond it, of course. But anyway, so on the south side of the river, you know, I don't go south too much of it. So it's a little bit, I just go together. See, she's not even looking at the sign. She's waiting. She's sat over there. Something else just by here as well. Statue of a fella, get onto that in a few seconds. But here's the river heading south. East. Okay, and so the Mayflower's just down there on the right. Canary Wharf is going to be just down there. There's the City of London there, Tower Bridge, the Shard, and there's the beach. And that's a great beach. St. Catherine's Dock is over there. Yeah, and that church. That church where the fellas buried, you can just make out the steeple there with the vein on the top of it. And Brunel's thingamajig is down there as well. And these statues, see, there's what's this girl here? Dr. Salter's Daydream. Okay, well, okay, there's a cat there. And there's, I think this is Dr. Salter's wife with a shovel in her. And, okay, this is something all to do with Dr. Salter's Daydream. Apparently he was a doctor who treated his poorest patients without charge. But anyway, so you get the idea. You know, there's things to, as you walk along, to stop off and take a look at. Now I'm going to find Lisa. She's up there. So, that lady there is just offering free toilets. This is very nice, right? How about this? Look at this. So Paul McCartney used the interiors and exteriors of this public house as locations in his film Give My Regards to Broad Street and for the music video to his hit single No More Lonely Nights. How about that? Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I mean, normally, you know, he lives in St. John's Wood, and most of that Beatles, Rolling Stone stuff, you know, was going on in Soho, David Bowie, all of that. But yeah, so for some reason somebody chose that Once Upon a Time pub, it looks like. Yeah, so there's, you know, there's bits and pieces, and of course the other, going further down the river a few miles, there's of course Greenwich, which is a World Heritage Site. Lots of reasons to go there. And let me find out. Oh, I did get it right. Okay, that's a co-op. We've just made a, after Southwark and all of that, we're going through some of the little side streets, what have you. We've just made a right turn onto Tower Bridge Road. Tower Bridge just going straight up there. So this is the first sort of road, largest road we've seen in a while. I don't think we'll go on it. I think at some point to the full Tower Bridge there's some steps that go down. So I'm thinking that's what we do. I don't know. But from the point of view of buying stuff, right? From Southwark Park, there were a couple of those little tiny things selling hot drinks. I assume they're there every day. I don't know because now I presume they're making a lot of money. But this is a co-op. I think that's the first anything like that we've seen. It was just that hot drink place beforehand. So there were a couple of people shouting from balconies, use my toilet, and the last toilets we saw were probably about 45 minutes ago. So if I were you, if you're in the situation, you're not really sure where the next loos are, and you see some, I'd go. I mean, there's a queue for the loos as well, but then you just, when you're done, you just go up and rejoin wherever it was you were. Not ideal, but presumably now we're sort of getting into that kind of busy area a little bit. There's going to be more stores, more cafes, what have you, and more loos. That's the important thing. I think a lot of people hold off drinking because you're just afraid of that urge coming over you, and then you don't want to get stuck, right? You cross your legs and hop along the pavement with your legs crossed. But this is just gone into the co-op. So yeah, I mean we brought food with us. Don't get me wrong. I think just get a pack of biscuits or something, because when you get to Westminster, the security area, any food or drink you got with you just gets binned. So so whatever you bring with you, you either got to eat or drink it or give it away or throw it away. So I think this is just getting me some biscuits. What's this? Look at this. This is one of the little canal things that lead into the river. See, the Thames is just up there. Look at this. I mean, it's probably low tide right now, so normally you don't kind of see this because there's a bit more water, right? But no shopping trolleys. Normally you see shopping trolleys and bicycles and things like this, but maybe the odd dead body every now and then, but nothing like that. But anyway, so that's that. So yeah, this is Tower Bridge Road. Okay, Tower Bridge up to the right, and down there off into yonder. Well, I'm sure you recognise that. And you recognise this. And we're actually now going under Tower Bridge Road. We were on it about half an hour ago, whatever it was. But we kind of wiggled around these small little streets. In fact, this one now is pedestrian only because a few of the streets have been blocked off. So now we're going under Tower Bridge Road. And now things start to get really busy with visitors. Now we're in that sort of part of the walk in which there's going to be a lot of visitors to London. Now, of course, we do have these barriers on the left that we're supposed to stick to. At some point soon, I think we get wristbands. Oh no, we got to stop here. Anyway, okay, so so from the point of view of sort of getting coffee or tea, snacks, whatever, that side of things is a little easier. There's still that sort of issue with the loos. I haven't seen any official portaloos just for those of us in the queue. But there's obviously pubs and things like that around that one can hopefully avail oneself of. Okay, jolly good. City of London over there. Oh, and this place here, this used to be where the Mayor of London had his office, but that moved a few miles behind us a while ago. All right. A big moment has just passed. Let me show you.
Well, it does not guarantee entry.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, this wristband does not guarantee entry and is strictly non-transferable.
How about that? Can you read the whole page? This wristband does not guarantee entry. Okay, well we've just got our wristband, so but entry is not guaranteed. Anyway, here we go. We're at the other side of Tower Bridge there. That's the queue that we just come along. We have to go all the way over there and around.
I gave it to her before being found out that this is
Anyway, we're off there. Anyway, so we're halfway through this actually. No, not actually. See how this is. More of this zigzag. I mean, I don't know how many years, 20 rows? Or 15 or something of this zigzag stuff before we then go and join the river and end up over there and I don't want to say final stretch, but in the general, in the correct direction. You think somebody would have planned this? I mean, could have gone under the Tower Bridge and along that way, but I guess it's easier this way because it's South Bank. It's pedestrianised, so it's the logical way to go. Where are we going now? Oh, we got to go. Oh, here we go. And you get the idea. Well, I just left the queue. Needed to go to the loo, and there's some portaloos around the on the right-hand side there. Tower Bridge there. This building here, this is the one that I just referred to. This was where the mayor's offices were. Pretty empty now. A sign over there saying chamber. Meetings, I guess all the receptions were somewhere, but yeah, they've moved to something out there 3 or 4 miles somewhere. Anyway, so there's the queue again, and Liza is probably back there. Just the thing of this T flag's flying on the top of Tower Bridge there. One on the left is the Union flag, and the one on the right is actually the City of London flag. If you could see it all, it might look to some people like the flag of England. In the top left-hand corner, it does have that upside-down sword. Something to do with St. Paul being martyred. Or was it Saul? Anyway, and of course they both are at half-mast, so that when you look at it again, like it was at the palace, the flags don't look exactly half-mast. They look as though like they're a third of the way down. But I'm just wondering if that's the angle, because looking from down, so looking up at them, and I'm wondering if that somehow messes up the angle, and it just looks as though they're a third of the way down, but in reality they're not. Not sure. It's just speculation. Because I just wonder why it says half-mast when it's not actually half. But yeah, so maybe it is, and it's just the angle I'm looking at. These two fellows here, this is Gilly and Mark. Okay, well, I'm sure there's a good reason for this. It says here, males aged 10 and 12. Chimps are family. Wild chimp conflict. Oh my god. When the tendencies to behave so similar to humans is the tendency for violence. Chimpanzees can have conflict not only within communities but also. It's not all humans, is it? Anyway, where is
more or less life inclusive.
this is what country is this?
Spain.
Spain. Okay, this is the Spain one. Probably a whole bunch of countries here, and of course, as from today's Friday, I guess as from today, a whole massive amount of presidents, kings, queens, heads of state, prime ministers from all over the world are going to be descending on this city And we're all going to be in Westminster Abbey on Monday. What a target that would be if somebody were somehow able to pull off some nefarious act. My word. I was just thinking I can't remember the last time so many heads of state, people like that, were in one building at the same time. I mean, even the G7 and the G20, that's just 7 and 20. But I think there's going to be a lot more in Westminster Abbey on Monday. Okay, I am looking for Liza, feasts, Naj. Oh boy, I haven't had a hot drink today. I've been avoiding water because of the loo situation. Okay. So, but now that we're sort of in the busier part of this route, apologies to Australians there, and it's a little easier to get drinks and stuff. Okay. Well, I don't think she could have gone past me. Okay, I'm gonna have to quit recording and find her. Well, that's the city of That's Southwark Bridge immediately there, and just behind that is London Bridge, and then just behind that is Tower Bridge. So we are progressing, albeit somewhat slowly. You can see, here's the sort of sign: lying in state queue, please expect long delays, thank you for your patience. And right behind it, London Fire Brigade, that are, well, the ones we've seen before, are giving out water. I'm not sure about that one, unless they're doing it from the other side. Anyway, of course, just up here is the Shakespeare's Globe, if you're so inclined for that sort of thing. There's one entrance there, there's another entrance around there. And Golden Hind, we just passed that. That's one of these replica tea clippers from hundreds of years ago. HMS Belfast is up there. And this whole pedestrianised route is pedestrianised anyway. It's called the South Bank. It's a nice walk, to be honest. Most people go between Tower and Westminster Bridges, or the other way around. But really, as I mentioned before, there's bits either side of it, from Tower Bridge eastwards or from Westminster Bridge westwards. There's no need to stick just to, between those two bridges. And if you've got time, I have to admit, it's not the worst thing to go a bit in either direction. But there's a lot along here as well. I mean, coming up Tate Modern, that is on the left. Then you've got the National Theatre, and a lot of the art stuff is down there as well. That's the Millennium Bridge there. That is a pedestrian-only bridge, and that goes across to St Paul's. That's St Paul's up there in the city of London. You've got the dome, and then just to the left of it, you've got the two kind of tower thingamajigs. And that's just a walk across that Millennium Bridge. So this is a bit of a.
I said, do you want to?
I've often suggested to clients that they want to go for a walk, go along this area anyway. There's enough cafes and restaurants and that kind of thing if you're so inclined. And of course, the Tate Modern is there. I mean, that's if you like that sort of thing, that's a great museum, and it's mostly free, except for the any special exhibitions they have. And you've got that viewing gallery up on the 10th floor there of one of their towers, so you get a decent view from there up and down the river. So this is a nice area to be anyway. Now you see, we are still progressing. I just read that we entered Southwark Park around about 8 o'clock. Now apparently around about 10 o'clock it was closed to people entering it. So those people who just got in time, they're about 2 hours behind us now, and apparently it's possible that it may not be until after midnight that they get into Westminster Hall, which could mean a total of over a 14-hour walk for them. Maybe, maybe not. It just depends, of course, how things go. Lisa's hobbling along. So I think, Lisa and I and everyone around us is looking at maybe 12 hours. Oh boy. Yes. You say, right? Of course, you can go right now. I mean, I can stop you right now. And of course, in theory, we've got wristbands, but in theory, just before people got the wristbands, it is possible that people could have queue jumped. I mean, I would think people either side of that, if people see that, would raise us think about it, as I just did with the lady 10 minutes ago. Thames water. Oh no, they're giving away not bottled water, but water straight from the tap. Anyway, and that entrance to Southwark Park, apparently it's closed for a minimum of 6 hours. So that's got to be bad. I mean, if you just miss out on that and you're at the front of that queue and you're being told, well, you got to wait at least another 6 hours, and once that's over, then there won't be so many people in front of you for when you commence walking. So maybe you'd catch up with the people that are already in the queue. I don't know. But there's going to be quite a few of these people that have taken day trips to London, expecting to be done early evening or something. And met one lady from Cardiff, come up from Cardiff, and her last train back was 11 o'clock, and so that's an awkward situation for some people. It's like, do they kind of give up, or do they wait the 6 hours and then just go back tomorrow and hope that their train ticket is honoured, or get a new train ticket, or what, and of course, instead of being at home that night, they're going to be in the queue, either waiting or walking. It's not a great situation. In a way, it's nobody's fault, I suppose, although there is a bit of a row going on about the people who are allowed to skip the queues, and not, of course, people who are in wheelchairs, not that sort of thing, of course, but people like members of Parliament who apparently get in and bring four people with them, also queue jump, and members of the House of Lords, and there's probably others as well. So that doesn't make people like me happy. I don't think MPs, certainly their or friends or acquaintances, should be allowed to jump the queue. Not at all. MPs, members of Parliament, same as the rest of us. At least in theory it should be. For a second, I don't think they should be allowed special privileges. To me, they're absolutely not special people. One bit. I mean, somebody that's served in the House of Lords for decades and maybe has some sort of ailment or something. Okay, there are some exceptions. Rent over. Okay, prohibited items. You can probably see this stuff online, I suppose. If you can't read it, just pause it. This, guess which bridge this is? There's a bit more of a clue. Here's a clue. And of course, Blackfriars Bridge. Over. Actually, no. Yes. Yeah, it's Blackfriars Road Bridge, because next to it is Blackfriars. On the other side, Blackfriars Train Bridge. It's on that side of the bridge that on a really, really low tide, low spring tide, I believe. So it's like once, twice a year. You can see the river fleet empty out into the Thames, because the river fleet comes out from kind of the other side over there. It's culverted, so it'll come out of a culvert, but normally you can't see that because the water covers it. But say every now and then that culvert is visible, and then when the tide's coming out, you can see, apparently, I've never seen it myself, but you can see the water kind of rushing out back into the Thames. But there may be videos on it, I suppose, videos on it, including Majesty sitting down. Majesty isn't doing too well because of her knee. But she's trying to sit whenever she can. Which reminds me, if you do come down here and you can probably, you know, those portable chairs that fold up, not static ones, the ones that fold up. Apparently, you can certainly bring them with you. Now, whether you're not allowed to bring them actually into Westminster Hall, probably not. I would think, unless maybe if they're the tiny ones, you can fold them up and put them in your backpack. Not sure. But if you bring anything like that, certainly if it's a certain size, I guess you can't bring it in. And even if it's a small size, maybe not. I don't know. So if you do bring anything like that, I think you have to be prepared to accept the possibility that you might never see it again. Which is fine, I suppose, if you're that way inclined. But at least every now and then, even though it's a moving queue, I mean, as you can see now, we're actually stopped, because every now and then it might be stopped because there's too many people, so they'll hold the queue up for a few minutes, you know, to allow things to even out on the other side, or something like that. So there will be times when you actually stop and you see this lady is sitting down. So it's not always moving, right? So there are times when you can sit down, and if you can't find a proper seat and you didn't bring one with you, I've seen people sitting on the floor, but normally there might be like a ledge or something like that. I mean, not all the time, right? So just. And say I've gone to get some coffees every now and then. So I've gone out, I've gone a few hundred yards, whatever it is, to the coffee place, or coffee, whatever, got the drink, and then I've rejoined the queue. Now, of course, in that, you know, I may have been away for 10, 15, 20 minutes. So the queue's obviously moved, so then I just move back forward to, and then sometimes I have to look for Lisa, mind you, don't always automatically find her. But I should say, if you are going to do that, you might want to wait until such time as you've got the wristband. Because if you do that before you get the wristband, some people might think you're jumping the queue and all this type of thing. And yeah, so if you've got a wristband, yeah, then you're just looking for whoever you're looking for, right? And of course you don't exactly know where they are because, you know, you've been away, you know, however many minutes it is, and the queues move. So then you've got to find them again. And if you've got WhatsApp, I've got, with Lisa, we've got, you know, you can do the location thing with WhatsApp. You can put the location thing on, and the other person accepts it, and then you can see each other's location. It's not perfect. It's not 100% perfect. It doesn't go to the exact, you know, location, to the exact yard. But so it's just a ballpark. Anyway, there's the Thames again. That's Blackfriars Bridge, and so we're heading down, and
I would say obsessive.
I want to say the end is in sight, but it's actually not. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, that's the direction we've just come from. St. Paul's there. See, here's the river. This is where we've got things like this National Theatre here, BFI, British Film Industry here, and there's a few arty type things. What other arty things? We got the BFI, the National Theatre. What else is along here?
Oh, I mean, going down that way.
Well, I know you got the Tate Modern.
Globe.
Oh, the Globe. Yeah, mentioned the Globe. Oxford Towers there, but there's arty stuff. The South Bank stuff. On there's sunsets in the west. Oh, here we go, look at this. BFI. Long terrain over us, this is when she was crowned or coronated. And don't forget, she became a queen in February 1952, but she wasn't crowned for about 16 months later. I think it was a few days after there was a British expedition that conquered Everest, and that was a little bit of odd coincidence. But anyway, yeah, so that's what that was all about there, back in 1953. So who knows when King Charles III will actually be crowned the king. That will happen at some point. That bridge over there, that's the Untitled Bridge. That's a railway bridge from Charing Cross Station. But either side of it, there's a pedestrian walkway. So you can walk over from, say, Charing Cross over there to this pedestrianised area just down there. So you can do that if you want. And that's what we are approaching. Under normal circumstances, a 2-minute walk. But these are not these are not normal circumstances. It's been now it's what, 10 to 6. We first got into the queue, let's say 10 to 8. That's 10 hours ago. But we didn't really start moving until maybe an hour and a half later. So, oh look, they queued back then as well, 1953. Another long queue. In fact, in this building here, I just went to the Loo in the National Theatre. They've got a condolence book there, and you know, obviously there's a lot of stuff around, isn't there? Anyway, there we go. Colour, 1953 in colour. I like that. So same sort of thing, really, isn't it? You know, people in queues. People saying, "What am I in this queue for?" You know, because look at that. Similar to what we're going to be witnessing shortly, a couple of hours. And of course, you know, in Westminster Hall itself, everyone, people like Lisa, I, and everyone else in the queue, we're in there for like 90 seconds. You know, that kind of thing. It's you know, it's a whole day, you know. And say Lisa and I, we're you know, it's not only going to take 12-15 minutes to get back to the flat once we leave Westminster Hall, but many of these people are coming from, it's going to take them longer. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's a coffin, right? So I guess that's the Queen's dad. Although that would have been 1952, so why does it say 1953? Maybe the film is 1953 and it's based on the events that led up to coronation. I don't know, but certainly the king died in February 1952. I can't imagine he was buried in 1953. So yeah, that was the last event of this nature. 1952, burial of George VI, the king's father. Oh, that looks as though it might be the Tower of London. Yeah, so that was 70 years ago. They had colour footage. Wow, how about that? I remember at home we got a colour TV in 1966. A lot of people did that for the 1966 World Cup final when England 4, West Germany 2. See, that looks as though it's in Westminster Abbey, doesn't it? Same as what's happening 3 days from now on Monday. Wow, this is history, isn't it? This really is. Really, really, really. Is that Westminster Abbey? A session of Her Majesty. Proclamation. See, we had the proclamation last Saturday. And see, it's all over the country, as happened, you know, last weekend. Proclamations were read out all over the country in towns, villages, cities. City of Westminster did it last Saturday. It was only about 3.5 minutes. Saw the video on YouTube. It was what they wouldn't have been able to do 70 years ago. But yeah, so indeed these are historical events, and Monday's obviously a big day, you know, when she is laid to rest. Boy, oh boy. Okay. I'll find her again. See, now I've got, you know, I can share my WhatsApp location with her, so I'll have to look at that and see where she's got to. Along this stretch of the South Bank is also the Hayward Gallery. This place, Queen Elizabeth Hall. And along this route, I think we've gone along the Queen Elizabeth Way somewhere, or Queen Elizabeth Road, or something like that. And so I guess that's just coincidence, because in a way this is the logical way to go because it's pedestrianised. But of course there are, quite a few things, whether they be streets or buildings, named after Queen Elizabeth, and just by, I guess, coincidence, we've passed some of them. And here's the skate park thing, lots of nice graffiti, that sort of thing. There's the Eye, London Eye. And so coming up to, that's the Hungerford Bridge there. You see the train? That's going into Charing Cross Station. No, you're alright, mate. And see there's a pedestrian walkway either side of it. I don't know if you can see the people walking there, but as I mentioned before, you can walk from Charing Cross Station area if you're going to Trafalgar Square or wherever, over to this side for this type of thing. This art thing. South Bank, you can go, as we will be on this route going down to Westminster Bridge and then Lambeth Bridge. We'll be turning right on Lambeth Bridge, but after that it would be Vauxhall Bridge. It's not quite so interesting. Start to head down that way. Just before Vauxhall Bridge is headquarters of SIS, more commonly known as MI6. And for those of you that are into James Bond and all that, you might have some interest in that. But if you've got the time, all that's a pleasant walk, especially at night time actually, because if you walk past the old Vauxhall Bridge and then come to the Grosvenor Railway Bridge, and then just after that is Chelsea Bridge, and that's lit up at night. The bridge after that is Albert Bridge, that's also lit up at night. And I've done that a few times, walked across those bridges, driven across them loads of times at night. Quite nice actually. I like that sort of thing. But if you've got some time on your hands, it wouldn't be, the worst places to walk along. Get some exercise, get some steps. How many steps? Let me tell you how many steps we've done so far. I bet it's a lot. Okay, let's see. Steps so far. Steps. 16,523. Well, there's going to be a few more. So by the time we're done, if I remember, by the time we're done, I'll tell you how many steps. If I remember, but it looks as though it's going to be at least 20,000. Okay. And finally, there are the Houses of Parliament, which are located within the Palace of Westminster. That on the left is the London Eye there. I think it's 32 meters to the top, and I believe it's 32 capsules as well, one for each borough of London. London has 32 boroughs, and the City of London, which is different, it's a corporation, it's not a borough, has its own police force, its own road signs, traffic bollards, stuff like this. Anyway, this, well, you can see it. And behind us, there's that railway that leads into Charing Cross over there, and either side of it you've got the pedestrian walkway. So that's the north side of the river over there. We're still on here on the south bank. The queue's going off over there, so I'm going to have to catch these up shortly. Anyway, so this is our target for the last 10 hours. Now, just read that King Charles III, formerly known as the sovereign formerly known as Prince Charles, apparently will be doing another 15-minute stint as one of the guards. The coffin is surrounded by 4 guards with their heads bowed, one on each corner. I think a couple of days ago, Wednesday afternoon, maybe, yeah, I think it was a Wednesday afternoon, King Charles did a 15-minute stint as one of those 4 guards with his head bowed. Apparently he's doing another one tonight, something like 7:15 to 7:30 or 7:30 to 7:45, something like that. Right now it's 6:35, so an hour away sort of thing. I don't think we're going to get there in an hour though. Apparently the security you know, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's that zigzag thing, and I've been hearing that it takes an hour and a half just to do that. Don't know if that's true or not. Then of course we got to walk up there. You know, this is Westminster Bridge coming up, and then there's Lambeth Bridge, is where they make the right turn and all of that. So I don't think we're going to get there within an hour anyway. So I think we're looking more like 2.5 hours in total. So if King Charles does do that during one of those 15-minute intervals, we're going to miss it anyway. And it would be nice to walk into, after today's tribulations, to walk into Westminster Hall and see the King with his head bowed. But I think we're going to be too late for that. Or he's going to be too early for us. I'm sure if he knew that Lisa and I were on our way, then he'd wait. Yeah, right. Anyway, so I'm going back to join the queue. Right, let's see if I can do this without putting the WhatsApp location thing on. Well, I just wanted to take a video of the London Eye there, and I'm as wide an angle as I can get with this in the car. Can't quite get the bottom of it, like that. But look at the sky, it's, you know, no rain today, no drizzles, nothing, which of course makes a massive difference, massive. I mean, when this queuing system, Tuesday, yes, Monday night, Tuesday morning. Anyway, it rained until about 2 in the morning, and it was kind of like nasty rain. I mean, some people were in tents, some people had some sort of shelter, but a lot of people didn't, and that simply could not have been nice. And the rains did stop about 2 o'clock when the morning it was, but that could not have been a nice experience. But for us, nothing like that today. A little nippy, I suppose. But you know, I don't have a coat on, but you know, there you go. But the sky looks beautiful, doesn't it? It really does. And that's London Eye, except I can't quite get the bottom of it. Just get, you know, I know I'm going to have to improve the equipment I've got. I do know that.
Send it to them.
So all donations welcome. Okay, here we go. Prohibited names, food drinks prohibited, banners or flags, aerosols, padlocks, chains, personal defence items. There's a bag drop off to the left. That sign will come up in a few seconds. You must have a wristband, which I have to enter the lying state. Wristband retrieved at the end of the... wristband received at the end of the queue. Okay, St. Thomas's Hospital. I have memories of that place. Please respect. Some fella just said another 5 hours. I mean, we have to go down to Lambeth Bridge. Although, of course, the House of Parliament is just off. Well, you can see that. There's a flag flying, half-mast, and under that is Westminster Hall. And yeah, so, but we have to go down to the next bridge.
So we're going to theatre track.
Is she ahead of me? I can't find my girlfriend. Oh, see, so they're having to stop the traffic, obviously, because see a few more TV cruises. We're getting closer. But somebody did say another 5 hours, which a few people said that the security stuff can take an hour and a half. You know, it's that zigzag thing again. But that leaves another 3.5 hours. See, we got Big Ben up there, but we're having to sort of cut down to the left and follow the river to the next bridge down, which is Lambeth Bridge, even though Westminster Hall itself is just over there. God, to think we could still be 5 hours away. Hello, where's Lisa? Okay, this is what happens, right? When I slow down or speed up, or she does something, because she's, you know, like she's got this knee problem, so she's been doing a lot of sitting. So we've been sometimes getting separated, you know, not by lot, but sometimes we've had to put WhatsApp on to find each other. You see the people in the light blue tunics like that fella, they're civil servants. They have been seconded, I suppose, to do this work. Where's this lady from? Which country is that? Poland. This lady's from Poland. So,
Roll your sleeves up, like you're ready to
roll the sleeves up. See the wristbands.
Mate,
Hey,
you got wristbands?
Where's your wristband, mate?
I don't need that. That's mine.
Anyway, all right. Oh man, you saved me. Thank you very. Oh, just, not the whole thing.
Have a good old handful.
Seriously.
Yeah. You made it this far. You've earned it.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
And what? Another 5 hours? It's just over
How long have
there.
you been so far?
Yes.
Since only since 7:30. So
Oh,
yeah,
right.
not so
Cool,
bad,
really.
right?
Oh my god, I can't believe this man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have to find. So anyway, let's just stop here. Take a gander at this Westminster Bridge. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you all know this is right there. So we're still on the
No
south.
phones at the stairs, please, guys. Wait till you get to the bottom.
Okay. And
Please.
this guy's gonna give me a hug. Anyway, so anyway, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good man.
If people just do what they're asked for health and safety reasons, I'd be even better.
Anyway, so there you see the House of Parliament and all that, and so we're going all the way down here to Lambeth Bridge, making a right, you can just see Lambeth Bridge down there, making another right at the end, onto Victoria Tower Gardens, where apparently David Beckham was a few hours ago, and then all the rest of it. All right, see ya. You must have a respect. Well, as you can see from Big Ben there, it's just past 7:15, because that was the view I had from my hospital room over there on the right when I looked out. I faced Big Ben. And that's what I looked when I wanted to see the time. I just looked left and the other side of the river was just over there. It hasn't started bonging as it normally does. It's been closed for 5 years now. The bongs have, so I think to all intents and purposes it is back to normal, except it's not bonging as it normally does. I suspect it will be on Monday. Anyway, so that's that. Westminster Hall is just over there. I see some tents there. I don't know how well the lights, as you can see, the light is fading. Imagine if this was in winter, when it was so much colder, and sometimes it's getting dark, say 4 o'clock, and it's getting light again at 8 o'clock. I mean, anyway, that's Lambeth Bridge there. That's the Harry Potter Bridge. And normally, you see where it's purple in colour. That's normally red, because that's the bridge that's closest to the House of Lords. The House of Lords, they have red seats. House of Commons is green seats. That's the side of the house that's closest to the Westminster Bridge, which is why that's in green. So normally Lambeth Bridge is in red, but it's in purple, the regal colour. And that's why that is like that. Anyway, and that's the bridge that we will be going over. That's the bridge that Lisa and I saw this morning when we were on the bus, probably around about 7 o'clock.
7 a.m.
We went across that bridge, and it's over 12 hours later, and now we're walking to it. And we're probably still, I don't know, 30 minutes away. Here on the left-hand side, all right there, all the way down there, all those arcs. And that's the National COVID Memorial Wall. And you can see all sorts of messages left. All sorts of different arcs and all sorts of things there. Anyway, so I'm tempted to say almost there, but I think it's not quite yet. Okay. There's Lambeth Bridge again, and here, not more media people along here. Yeah, this is the greatest concentration of media people so far, and that's probably because the Houses of Parliament over there are in the background, I'm guessing. You see they're higher up, so the camera will be higher than the people. Someone's really tall. So they're going to have the House of Parliament in the background. I've seen, you know, the odd person getting interviewed here and there.
So much.
Anyway, oh yeah, over there on the left, that's the London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Lambeth Palace. Gardens are normally open, the palace itself isn't. It is a home. Oh, giving away coffee and tea. Oh, putting it away, sorry. Anyway, so that's it. We're just coming up to Lambeth Bridge. Just coming up, normally a minute's walk, but it could be 15, 20 away. Okay, but I am tempted now to say the end is in sight. I'm going to say it, the end is in sight. Well, we've just had to put our arms up in the air to show off the wristbands. Now on the Harry Potter Bridge, Lambeth Bridge. And there you see, well, you know what you're looking at. Don't need me to tell you. But, you know, an hour ago somebody said we were 5 or 6 hours away. I mean, judging from how things appear now, that doesn't appear to be the case. And the fella that told me that was one of the civil servants in the light blue bibs, seconded. So, I'm tempted to say, you know, typical civil servant doesn't, you know, got it wrong. But maybe not. Maybe there's going to be a massive blockage down here. I mean, apparently the security, which is just over there, can be up to an hour and a half. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, what can we do, right? What can we do? Okay, there she is. Here we go, Vauxhall and all that down there. MI5 actually, that's MI5. MI6 is down there on the left. There's another C10. That's the bus that we took from Victoria Coach Station to, you know, by the Rotherhithe Tunnel. And that was over almost 13 hours ago. Anyway, off Lambeth Bridge now, Victoria Tower Gardens. MI5. Holy moly. Go figure. The sign just said 2 to 3 hours. Filming taking place, you may be filmed at any time. What have we got a hand in here? Water? Oh, we got to check our bags for stuff. Food and stuff. Okay. Hang on. Bye. Well, we're definitely close now. There's the Buxton Memorial. Lambeth Bridge over there. So we are on Parliament side of the Buxton Memorial. There it is. Can't see it, but the standard is fine. The reason for that is the King is in there right now with his head bowed. And I really wanted to walk into Westminster Hall with Liza and see King Charles III with his head bowed as we walked in. That would have been perfect. I mean, couldn't have, you know, videoed it or anything, of course not. But nevertheless, it can't happen now. Apparently he's doing a 15-minute stint. You know, we're more than 15 minutes away anyway. But nevertheless, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Anyway, you can see we're in this final bit of squiggly stuff here. I don't know what we call this type of queuing. Squiggly stuff will do. And we're in the final bit. A few more rows, you know, quite a few more rows there. And at the end of all that is the security. And I'm guessing that's all pretty easy stuff. And then that's it. You know, all day for 90 seconds, but we shall see. I don't know if you got all that actually. I'm going to say it again. We came off Lambeth Bridge, did another wristband check. There was a table set up and there was snacks being given away. Those two people then just there were also giving the snacks away. As people are coming up to security, having to sort of get rid of any food and drink. Anything that is recyclable is, I guess, put in those bins and offered to people. And that's where that little Snickers cubs came from. Anyway, so there's the river again, and we're sort of, well, you can see how it is. Right, there's a few more squiggly things left to do, I guess. quite a few, right? Oh look, you get those in Pret for like, I don't know, £1 million or something. Okay. We finally reached the end of the zigzags. There were a lot of zigzags down there. I mean, a lot. It was actually. It took a long time. I don't know, an hour and a quarter. Now we're coming to this final bit here. The zigzags have ended. And those are the burgers of Calais, actually. But you can't probably see it. Those 6 burgers of Calais. And there's it's a Rodin. Do you say Rodin or Rodin? Rodin. Oh Lord. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, that's just there. And the Buxton Memorial's down there. I mean, I've walked around here plenty of times, you know. And it's the Victoria Tower. The Royal Standard was flying when King Charles was here. That was about an hour and a half ago. So he's gone, and now it's the Union flag again. At half-mast. So that's that. The other side of it now, the trees.
All liquids and all food to be disposed of.
Okay, you got that. Well, we've got rid of all liquids and all foods.
Liquids
and
include
they're asking for anything that's unsealed to be donated, and then that'll go back to be offered, you know, a couple of 100 yards back down there, and that gets offered. So it's like recycled, which is great. So Lisa and I had like granola bar and whatever it was. Okay, so this is coming up to the final bit. So turn off mobile phones before entering the Palace of Westminster. Phone is off. Turn off your phones.
It smells lovely round here though.
Here's the phone. Picture Lisa. Turn the phone off. It's the phone. The phone is off. So it's a Samsung. Anyway, so that's that. Filming taking place. You may be filmed at any time. Yeah. So this is the final bit. Okay, people do have the option of emptying out their water bottles and taking the bottles with them. Someone just told us that. We're coming up, this is, security is just down there. So I'm gonna...
It's very blurry.
Security is just down there, so I'm assuming that I'm gonna have to turn this off sooner or later. This looks to be the final...
Please keep on moving down. Please keep on moving down. Please keep on moving down.
Alrighty, wow. Yes. How is this working? Oh, I see. This is the road. I've actually driven along here. This is the exit from the House of Lords. So I've actually come along here and driven out down through that way. And of course, driven down Lambeth. The roundabout is just down there. MI5 is just down there on the right. And yeah, so I guess that's security. Just down there a bit. So this may be the final video, may not be. Okay, a little over 24 hours ago, Lisa and I were walking along that side, and we were looking at, you know, where we are now and saying, wow, those people are just about to go in. So now we're on this side, looking at them. Maybe they've just left. You sometimes tell by the people hobbling. Okay.
Tablets off as well.
Okay, tablets off. This is according to Big Ben, it's 5 minutes to 10.
Thank you, guys. Have a lovely journey back. Safe journey.
Commons. I've actually driven out of here.
Yeah, and you too.
We joined the queue just over 14 hours ago. So basically, from joining the queue, Southwark Park to here, just over 14.4 hours. Indeed, for a couple of minutes, really. And look what somebody's put here. Oh, this is Parliament Square right there. Yeah, so, bit of a corgi there, but we're going to exit now. So we're still technically inside. Yeah, Westminster Hall is quite an impressive building. Actually, I've seen it before. And that's the one with those big wooden beams and all of that. Very impressive. Of course, you can't take photographs in there, that's for sure. Video or nothing like that. Lisa's had a hard time of it, actually, once we got to the squiggly bits around there.
We're going to have to move you on as well, please.
Yeah, she's been hobbling. She had to.
Yeah,
poor
but
lady.
we need to
She's
move
been.
you away from the entrance.
In fact, do you know where the nearest St John ambulance place is?
Are you able to call St John's?
We don't want to call. No, we can hobble them. Oh well, Lisa can, not me.
Well, I'm not sure if that's the easiest way. She's looking for some medical treatment.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we had to sit down before we got in. We had to sit down for 30 minutes.
We're in cordon, so some of them, it's we can't get. They can get.
Just find my team leader who's got the.
Anyway. Anyway, yeah, Lisa had to, before we got to the entrance on the other side, Lisa had to sit down for 30 minutes. They took her to a little place, and then, I was in that zigzag bit. I caught up 30 minutes later, and so she'd had 30 minutes rest. Anyway, so,
There is a tester. Do you want me to?
There's a tester over there.
Someone, it's up to you. Do you guys want me to get?
It's up to you. There was one down there, actually. Do you know if it's still there?
What?
Oh, you do?
I have medicine at home. I just need to get.
Yeah, we live just over there, so we won't
Whereabouts do
take
you guys live? How? Like,
12-minute walk.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I was gonna say I can help direct you, but you'll know the area better than me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right.
I did see a St John's van go down that way, so you might come to that direction if you're going to walk that way anyway. You should come to them. If not, there's policemen on your route, so if you do feel like it's too much, just stop one of the policemen. You should be able to help.
Right, a policeman. All right.
That's the dream.
We did once in East Timor, right? Timor-Leste. Anyway, so yeah, so we're exiting now. I've actually driven through here. There's a security check over there for the cars, where they lift up the bonnet and put the mirrors under the car and all that. Where's the exit? Oh, here's the exit. Where's him? Are you okay? Okay.
No worries.
Where would you like to go? Anyway, so we come out here, see on Parliament Square. So that's Victoria Street down there. So that we're at one end of this. Where we are now is one end of Victoria Street. Where I'm living is the other end of Victoria Street. So from that point of view, super convenient. But there's a lot of people here that are worried that they're going to miss their last trains home and all the rest of it, because there's no Ubers, black cabs, nothing like that can actually get here right now. So people have to go to as close as they can get, and then head off to the train station. And sort of, there's a tube station here. I'm sure that's probably closed. But anyways, we're just down there. And you can see that, all these roads are blocked around here, obviously. So we're going to go nice and slow. For
I was just asking you about Prince Charles' Southwark.
Anyway, so, honey, I do want to ask you this because, we joined the queue 14 hours ago, and of course it took about an hour to get to the queue by the time we left the flat, went on the bus and all of that. And I suppose it's 2 minutes inside. Was it worth it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, why?
How to explain like the feeling that you have when you're paying respects to someone that meant a lot to the world. Felt like time froze when I was standing there bowing. It was something that's hard to describe, but I'll never forget the feeling.
Did you bow from the neck or the waist?
The waist.
Supposed to bow from the neck.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's not my culture.
Oh, what?
Why is it the neck?
I don't know, but I looked it up last night.
Oh, you should have told me. I was thinking how I should have curtsied.
You could have curtsied. What are they going to do, right?
No, but...
Damned Americans.
No, from the waist.
No, you're supposed to buy from them. Really? Oh, well, whatever.
Well, I don't know.
Whatever, I'm sure they've seen it all. But anyway, right, now, so allowing for all that, you know, like we left we actually left the flat.
Well, I woke up
Over-
at 2.
Well, yeah, that's another story. Over 15 hours ago. Now we're in the blessed position that we're going to be home, you know, in not too many minutes, right? Whereas most of these other people, probably the grand majority, it's going to take them a lot longer to get to wherever they're going. And there was a lady from Australia flew in this morning, went straight over to Southwark Park. So she must have been knackered right from that plane ride, and then she comes straight over, and 14 hours in the queue. I mean, holy moly! But people do these things. So, to me, is it worth it? You choose. You choose. You choose. You choose. You choose. Anyway, so was it worth it? I'm 51% yes. So obviously 49% no. I mean, I'm not a mad keen. I'm 50-50 about the whole royalty thing. See the pros and cons and all that. But I am 100% for the Queen. Because of the person she is and what she did. Perhaps not what she stands for so much. I mean, she's not the ruler. I mean, she does what she's told. They give her a speech. The government gives her a speech. She reads it. They put some papers in front of her. She signs them. So in a way, she's a bit of a puppet. Really, she does what she's told. Well, the monarch. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The monarch does. Anyway, yeah, dearie me. So, but now, of course, we didn't actually know it was going to take that long. There's another thing. Apparently, they did close Southwark Park entrance for 6 hours at 10 o'clock this morning, and of course, the issue is now is that they closed the viewings at 6:30 Monday morning. I mean, the way things are now, that means they have to sort of stop people coming in from 24 hours before, because I mean, today's Friday. I mean, you think right now, as I'm talking to you now, that Southwark Park is jammed up again, and some people are looking at more than 14 hours. Wow. So, from the point of view of the people in charge, at what time do you don't want people to sort of enter Southwark Park at 8 o'clock Sunday night and then not be able to get through in 10.5 hours, which would seem to be very likely that there's no way they would get through in 10.5 hours. So that would seem to indicate that you'd have to close Southwark Park, I don't know, 6:30 Sunday morning. And so, if you've got train tickets to come down on Sunday, or bus or coach, whatever, I mean, do you or don't you, sort of thing. Yeah, so, and it's busy. busy. I mean, but it's one of these, maybe it's not a once-in-a-lifetime occasion, probably not. I mean, Charles, he's 72, and then it will be William. He's 40 now or something. So for some people it might be this might be one of twice in a lifetime, or one of 3 times in a lifetime. So, was it worth it? Yeah, I'm 51% yes. 51% yes. But I'm 50-50 about the royalty thing. You know, if you're heavily into the royalty thing, then yeah, I suppose it's going to be more than 51% worth it. But you have to be prepared for a long wait and everything that goes along with that. Anyway, so that was Parliament Square. We're now on Victoria Street, and say, Victoria Station's just down at the end. I live, just behind that station, so gonna be home quite soon. Where did Liza go? Okay, I have to find her. Okay, would you do it again?
I don't know if I do it again this way, but perhaps in the accessible line. But if anybody's wondering,
yes.
If you're wondering at all, and if like history, if like tradition, if like British culture matters a lot to you, it's definitely worth it.
Now, one thing, Nash here, well, she's hobbling, and has been for most of the day, to be honest. She kind of wishes that she'd gone. For some people, you can get like a medical exemption, so you kind of skip that whole queuing thing, and you go to Tate Britain and you get some sort of, I guess, wristband or something, I don't know, and then you can skip all of that, what we went through, and it was really kind of like a tiny queue, if anything, for people in wheelchairs and others, to sort of, well, I don't know, could you go in if you were sat in a wheelchair? How would you get up those steps? But anyway, so I guess if you're in a wheelchair, at some point you have to stand up and walk up the steps and walk down, for sure. But Naj is wondering if maybe she should have gone to Tate Britain and tried to get that exemption, so to allow her, and maybe me, maybe I would be the carer, and to avoid that 14 hours and going down to Southwark Park and all of that and what have you. That's from Tate Britain. The other thing, there are some people, of course, that don't have to do all that stuff anyway. And I was reading today, or was on the news, something, that MPs can skip the queue, and they can bring in 4 guests. And I think members of the House of Lords can as well. And there's other people that can skip the queue. And I personally think there's no way at all that whoever made up that rule should have done so. I can think of no circumstance, unless it's a health thing, that anybody should be permitted to skip the queue at all. I think it's actually disgraceful that some people are allowed to. I think this is something for the people and all of that, and MPs are no more special than the rest of us. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, 1,000,000%. But when they get that sort of special access, makes them feel special, like, their thingamajig doesn't smell and all the rest of it, and then not special. I mean, where we were living before, years ago, most of the MPs, that's where they were getting their drugs, this place in Pimlico. And obviously it's not all MPs that are up to that kind of stuff, but trust me, there are plenty of them. These days I guess they're getting their drugs and everything from somewhere else. And I would respect greatly any MP that refused that, had that opportunity to skip the queue and said, no, I'm not going to skip the queue. I'm going to join the queue and suffer those 14 hours or whatever it turns out to be. And great respect to any MP or anyone that does do that, right? And which reminds me, today apparently at 2 o'clock this morning, maybe somewhere around there, David Beckham joined the queue, and he of course, didn't take 14 hours. Apparently, took something like 8 or 9 hours, but he went through it, and good for him. I mean, I don't know if he could have got, permission to skip the queue anyway, but if he did, he didn't do it. He joined back at the queue wherever it was when he joined it at 2 o'clock this morning, and he went through it. And if that is true, if that's actually what happened, then fantastic, good for him. And if any MP does something like that, or any House member, anyone that is allowed to skip the queue but doesn't and joins the queue, then fantastic, and major respect to you, whoever you are. But trust me, I have zero respect for practically every MP, and it's not all of them. Of course, it's not all of them. Absolutely not. We just walked past Westminster Abbey. That's where the service will be 3 days from now. And I dare say that today some of the heads of state and what have you started to arrive. It's going to be a big thing, Big thing. And I actually think that the people in charge, I truly wonder if they realise what people like me, Lisa, and thousands of others have gone through today, yesterday, tomorrow, maybe Sunday, depending on if they shut it off early. Because, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not so difficult, I suppose. But some people, like Lisa, they're suffering. People can't eat properly and all that normal stuff. Can't go to the loo, precisely when you want to, and all that. And you got to get here. You got to leave from here. Some people, there's the cost of the flights, the cost of the hotels, and maybe the cost of trains or whatever, it's not, the greatest physical experience to go through in life. And I do wonder if those people in charge realise that, actually. I really do. And in fact, I think that everyone that did it should get like some sort of certificate. There should be this thing, you send your wristband in and you get a certificate. I don't know. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But I don't have much confidence in anything like that happening. But anyway, okay, so God almighty, another rant. Anyway, so you want to rest, honey? Yeah. Okay, so we're actually halfway home. But honey has to rest, so we have to find. Oh, there's a little park down there, right? So hopefully on a bench. And yes, this is still Victoria Street. There's a Barclays Bank round the corner. Because I have an account there. It's not this one. It's the Stratton Grounds down there. It's the next one. Oh my word. Anyway, so that is it. Now, I don't know how many videos I've taken today, but I'm going to string them all together. And probably not going to edit any of them. Just going to string them together. And going to go on for yonks, isn't it? Never mind. If you've actually watched all this video, I mean, not this particular one, but all of them, right? After I've strung them together, I don't know how long it's going to be. Then good for you. And forgive me for the lack of quality with the iPad, with the commentary, with the editing, because there won't be any, and all the rest of it. But hey, it's an experience. At the end of the day, it is, and that has to be said. Actually, this is kind of important. That this is an experience, and years to come, I suspect that probably everybody that went through it, what we went through today, is going to say, yeah, it wasn't great, it wasn't comfortable, blah, blah, blah. But it was an experience and I don't regret it. But there you go. Anyway, there's some benches. Oh, Lisa's taking the closest one. Of course, fair enough. And that's it here from Naj and I, Lisa and I. And right, let's see what Monday brings. We're going to go to Green Park. No, not now. Sometimes.
Yeah, tomorrow.
You want to say anything?
Thanks for taking me, honey.
Good to see you. All right. Well, this final part of this long video, what does that remind you of? Well, let's head down and you'll see that it's not actually Big Ben. It is actually Little Ben, and it's on the western side of Victoria Street. Victoria Street is just there, just slightly out of view there. That's where Westminster Abbey, Parliament Square, Houses of Parliament, and Big Ben are. They're just down there. And the last part of the video, of course, it was dark. It was a night, whereas obviously now it's not a night. And because of Lisa's hobbling, which I'm sure you saw, we headed off down that way to the flat. So I just wanted to tell you how many steps. Let's have a quick look here. How many steps we did yesterday. Now the steps was from flat to flat. Now we did walk to the coach station and take the bus from there to Southwark Park. So yesterday's...
To Bermondsey Station and walk to Southwark Park.
Yeah. And yesterday's steps was almost 21,000. I guess you take 1,000 off that because of the walk we did. So it was 20 of the way the steps are calibrated on my phone. It was about 20,000. Some people might have, obviously, longer stride, and so it depends on you. But that gives you an idea. And of course, you can't really just put Southwark Park to Westminster Hall and get the distance, because there was so much of that zigzagging. In Southwark Park, right by where was it? Tower Bridge, and then a couple of places itself, Victoria Tower Gardens, after Lambeth Bridge, before Westminster Hall. There's that, zigzag stuff. What's the word? When you go back and forth?
I don't know. I just call it squigglies, but it's zigzag.
Squigglies, whatever you want to call it.
Zigzag is a good
and
word.
so that added to the distance. So whereas if the distance might come up as 4.5 miles, but in reality, and of course you don't go in a straight line because they kind of keep you off the main roads anyway. It's probably more like 5.5 miles. And of course it's standing up most of the time. There's a few benches here and there if nobody's on them. A few walls that you can sit on, all the ground ultimately, I suppose. It's not it's not the greatest experience, is it? But anyway, so we are at the western end of Victoria Street now. And this is Little Ben. So yeah, I live just down there. Today's Saturday. Of course, the rest of the video was taken on Friday, but I just wanted to tell you the steps actually. And now we're going up to past the palace to the Green Park to see all the flowers. I guess it's not going to be busy. We'll find out. But anyway, this, I don't know how long this whole entire video will be, because I got to kind of put it all together. So I'm guessing it's more than an hour. What do you think of that walk, honey? Now it's a little later, and you've recovered a little bit. Do you have anything that people might want to know about it?
Can you show the Big Ben? Because right now people are just looking at the scaffold. Just show Big Ben. You're just talking.
Can't see Big Ben.
Little Ben. But you can't see Little Ben. Now you can. You were showing this earlier.
Oh yeah, actually this is important. You see all this stuff in front of us? Right, these are all these barrier things. Now, Monday, of course, is the big day. To say that I suspect Monday is going to be quite probably the most watched live television event of all television ever. And then if you include social media and everything else, it's clearly massive. I was just thinking about, I'm where I'm living right now, it's equidistant between Westminster Abbey in one direction and Buckingham Palace in t'other. And of course a lot of these streets are in the process of being closed down, and I suspect Monday will be a little bit of a problem walking around. But yeah, and see these things here, I suspect they're going to be put up either tonight or some point tomorrow. And what is possible to walk around now won't be tomorrow, and certainly Monday. I'm guessing that this is all ready for that, and there'll be people coming by during the night to erect all this stuff, and they've been having rehearsals during the night. Anyway, you were going to say you wanted me to show everybody
Little Ben. Sorry,
Little
guys.
Ben. And
You asked me
any
about the walk.
last minute thoughts on the walk?
The walk is very taxing, including the queuing, because you're standing standing and walking for 14 hours. But yeah, so as you were saying, the 14 hours standing and walking queuing is taxing for anyone, but especially someone like me with an injury. And even though it was taxing physically, it was a very special and like monumentous kind of moment. So I'm happy we did it.
Okay. All right then. So that's it for this video. Toodle pip.
Toodaloo!